Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today live. I know I said 11 p.m. I want to do it a bit earlier for a few reasons. One, to get over with because I have a sport out of my mind and couldn't wait to do it. And two, just scheduling things. I thought it would be better to do it this time a bit earlier. I know tomorrow people are going to be trying to get up early for those noon games and college game days. So that's why I want to go and do it now. I'm going to recap all the football games. I'm going to talk some hoops. I want to talk about a few things involving baseball as well, and a few other things. What's up, Raheem? How you doing? Um, but before I continue, just a public announcement. We are now on Twitter. So yeah, McD Sports 4. We are now on Twitter. And basically, follow our Twitter page. I don't really post a lot on there. What's up, Tiger Raven? How you doing? But we are on Twitter. Basically now, the Twitter page here. I'll pull it up for you. It's I believe it's McD Sports 4. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not following anybody back because that's how I roll. Basically, um, see if I can. Here's my profile. Okay, here we go. McD Sports 4 at Sports 4 McD. So yeah. Um, Starting November 19th, I retweet some things I see. Um, and basically a few tweets here and there. But basically, go follow the Twitter page on McD Sports 4. Maryland basketball is on fire. That's one of the things I want to get into. But that's not the first thing I'm going to get into. I want to get into first the action today, college football action, actually starting yesterday with the Egg Bowl. What a hell of a game yesterday. It came down to that guy peeing, that Moore guy, Elijah Moore dog peeing celebration, and the guy missed the extra point. Feel bad for the guy missing the extra point. Feel bad for Elijah Moore as well. But at the end, Mississippi State doing a bowl game now. It'll be in probably the Independence Bowl, honestly. But a bowl game is a bowl game, so you got that going for you if you're a Mississippi State fan. Ole Miss, I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at your schedule already for 2020. You only have 2 guaranteed wins on the schedule. So I think it might be a bit of a rough year next year for Ole Miss as well. So keep an eye on that. There was 2 games on Tuesday as well. Ohio beats Akron 52-3. Akron went 0-12 this season, so there you go. There's a team that went 0-12 in the MAC. Probably worst team in college football because every other team has a win, I believe, at least. Even Rice and UTEP. So Akron, worst team in college football. And then Northern Illinois, disappointing season this year, but you did beat Western Michigan 17-14 to close out the season. Has some momentum going into the off season. Western Michigan will be in a bowl game. I do not know which bowl game they're going to be in, but it might be one of the better ones in the MAC. Ohio's going to be in a bowl game as well at 6-6. And I do not know your MAC championship. I'm not going to know all the championships. I know the SEC championship. We know the Big 12 championship. The Big 10 championship is going to be decided tomorrow. Who's going to be in it? You also have the American Championship, which was decided today, Cincinnati versus Memphis. It's going to be in Memphis again. Rematch of that game. Your ACC Championship was decided today. I do not know if the Mountain West Conference USA and the Sun Belt Championships are decided. I'm sure Appalachian State is one of the teams in the Sun Belt, but I don't know if that was decided. But speaking about football games in Appalachian State in general, we still have 2 games going on right now. Number 25, Appalachian State, they're up 48-13 on Troy. Troy's not going to be in a bowl game. That's a bit surprising. I thought that team was going to be in a bowl game. They have a new head coach, so that's actually a good look for the West Virginia head coach right now. His name absolutely escapes me. I think Neil Brown. Neil Brown, that's his name. It's a good look for him because that shows that he knows what he's doing. West Virginia, more on them in a minute here. but that's a good look for Neil Brown because it makes him look like he knows what he's doing. And then UCF, this game's only in the second quarter. It's 14-0 UCF with 11:41 left in the second quarter. I took UCF minus 23.5. Games that happened, the big game today, or one of the two big games today, number 19 Cincinnati versus number 18 Memphis. Memphis got the win 34-24. Good win for Memphis. I picked them to win and cover, which they did. Or no, I picked them to win and not cover. I picked them to win and not cover. It was an 11-point spread, and I took Cincinnati plus 11. But I said Memphis will win at the end by a touchdown. Was by 10 points, but hey, I got the point spread pick correct as the overall pick. So, and this was a good game. It went back and forth, but Memphis just pulled away kind of late. I think Memphis is the better team than Cincinnati. I think Memphis, if they beat Cincinnati tomorrow, it's going to be a really tough argument between them and Boise State, especially if Boise State wins the Mountain West Championship game. Because I think the Mountain West overall, I think they have an argument saying they're right there with the American with Group of Five. But Memphis, I think, has a bit more of a stronger resume just as a team alone. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. It's going to be probably between Memphis and Boise State. I don't think Appalachian State's getting to a New Year's Six Bowl, unfortunately, even though I kind of disagree with that because I think they have a strong resume as well, and they should be at least considered. But it's going to be a really close between Memphis and Boise State for that Group of Five spot in the New Year's Six Bowl. Other big game, Virginia finally broke the streak. They're going to the ACC championship game, 39-30. I watched this whole game as well. Hell of a game, back and forth. Virginia Tech, they had a shot after Virginia kicked that field goal with like a minute and change left. The guy fumbled it in the end zone. Virginia jumped on the ball and won it 39-30. It was 33-30 when that happened. Virginia elected to just take the knee, which was actually a really smart football because let's say that extra point gets blocked, all of a sudden you're talking about a 7-point game if they return it back. So you keep it at 2 possessions, and they end up winning 39-30. Virginia Tech, they're still a good team. They'll be going to a decent bowl game for an ACC school because they're 8-4. But at the end, I picked Virginia to win the ACC Coastal at the beginning of the season at 10-2 and 7-1 in the conference. It'll be at 9-3 and 6-2 in the conference. They will lose to Clemson next week, but I think they could give Clemson a little bit of a run for their money. They're a well-coached team, Virginia. So more on that this week. There's going to be a lot of previews out this week for these championship games in the conferences. Next big game that happened, number 17 Iowa kicked a last-second field goal to win 27-24. I watched the second half of this one. Good news is that the spread point pick was correct. I took Nebraska plus 5.5. Bad news is that I got the pick wrong. Giving Iowa credit, though, 9-3. I thought this team had a chance to do some good things this year, and they did. So give Iowa credit. And they probably going to be either in the Outback Bowl or one of those like tier 2 bowl games like the Citrus Bowl or stuff. And maybe not so much the Citrus Bowl, but I can see them in the Outback Bowl, Iowa. So we'll see what happens there. Nebraska, they're going to be out of a bowl game. Good news is that I looked at their schedule too. Next year, they could very easily make a bowl game next year, Nebraska, with that schedule. So keep an eye on that. Your next big game was probably Texas Tech. Texas won 49-24. Good win for Texas to close out the season. Texas Tech, they had nothing to really play for. Texas, they'll be 7-5. They'll get into an okay bowl game. Probably a very disappointing year, though, if you're a Longhorns fan overall this season. Texas Tech, I do think Texas Tech is building something. I did not get the chance to look at their schedule next year to tell you my initial thoughts on next year for them. Maybe we'll do that later in the video, but overall, I do think that Texas Tech is heading in the right direction. They were in this game for about 2.5 quarters. Next big game was probably 20 Boise State versus Colorado State. Close game in the cold. The walk-on for snow this game. I don't know if it snowed in the second half because I only watched the first half of this one. Boise State, they are the best team in the Mountain West. They will win next week against whoever they get out of the West, whether it's Hawaii, um, Nevada. I mean, I don't know who the hell they're going to get out of the West. I have to look at that. But Boise State is a team that I think is going to run through whoever they get out of the West in the Mountain West championship game. They're 8-0 in the Mountain West, and they should. I think they should be in a New Year's Six bowl game. I really do. I think they deserve over Memphis. I mean, Boise State, the one loss was to BYU. Memphis and Cincinnati, they both lost to teams in their own conference. Um, but overall, I think Boise State's the best Group of 5 team. I'm sticking to that point. Other games that's going on, Appalachian State and Troy just went final 48-13 Appalachian State. They should get into a decent bowl game, Appalachian State. Like the best Sun Belt bowl game possible they'll get into for sure. Because I think they're going to beat whoever the hell they get out of the West, which is probably Louisiana, which is actually going to be a good game. But Appalachian State should win. I think those two teams faced off earlier this year, and Appalachian State got the win. Other games that went on, we had some MAC action today. Bowling Green and Buffalo. Buffalo won 49-7. Bowling Green, they finished the season 3-9. They won't be in bowl game competition, but Buffalo, they're 7-5. We'll see what they do. Kent State, they beat Eastern Michigan 34-26. Kent State, they've really rebounded. They're 5-3 in the MAC, 6-6 overall. Eastern Michigan, they'll be in the bowl game as well at 6-6, 3-5 in the MAC. Ball State, they're going to go ahead and get the win, 41-27. They're 5-7. They won't get into a bowl game. Miami of Ohio, they will be in a bowl game at 7-5. Miami of Ohio, I mean, they might be in your MAC championship. I have to check that out as well. And then Toledo, Central Michigan here. Central Michigan, 49-7. I believe I picked this game. I absolutely forgot who I picked, which is my fault, which I'm going to have to check on. So I'll check on that here in a few minutes. But Central Michigan, they're 8-4, 6-2 in the MAC. Toledo, they'll be in the bowl game at 6-6, 3-5 in the MAC. Missouri, Arkansas, they played Missouri. They won 24-14. Arkansas finished yet again 0-8 in the SEC for the second year in the row. That's really disappointing if you're an Arkansas fan. I mean, at least win a game. I mean, I think you guys have Vandy last year and this year. I mean, you guys can beat, I don't know, Kentucky, Missouri. I mean, at least win one of those games. Missouri, their bowl ban stand. That was news I want to hit on. They are going to have a bowl ban this year because of some violations or something, even though I think it's complete BS. I disagree with the ruling. But Missouri, they finished the year 6-6, and we'll see what happens next year for them. Washington State and Washington. Washington, they win 31-13. This game was pretty much a domination game by Washington. I don't know why Washington State can't win this Apple Cup year in and year out. And we'll see what happens with both of these teams. There's rumors about Mike Leach possibly going to FSU. We'll see what happens. Washington, pretty disappointing year for them. You expect better from them, but they do have a young team. You hope that they grow some this offseason and then into next season. Two more games that happened today. Arkansas State, they lose to South Alabama 34-30. Pretty disappointing loss if you're an Arkansas State fan. South Alabama's a terrible team. But the good news if you're South Alabama, you do get a win in the Sun Belt. You finish the season 2-10. We'll see what's in store for you next season. Arkansas State will be in a bowl game. And then the last game, West Virginia. If you're a West Virginia fan, the good news is that TCU will not be in the bowl game this year because you beat them. So that's a good performance right there by West Virginia. Didn't watch any of this one, but if you're a West Virginia fan, at least you have that motivation going into the offseason. You're coming off a win that causes a team not to be in a bowl game because West Virginia was 4-7 going into this one, TCU 5-6. And TCU came up short, and you guys beat them. Both of you guys finished 5-7. So both of you won't be in the bowl game, but it's a good news if you're West Virginia because there is motivation there. Okay, let's see what you guys saying in the comment section. Man, you guys are saying a lot. Duke losing to Stephen F. Austin. I do want to touch on that a little bit. I'll touch on it now. As a Maryland Terps fan, I would love to play Stephen F. Austin. And listen, Stephen F. Austin, we saw them make runs in the tournament before. I mean, I think they made a Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken. But I would love to face Stephen F. Austin right now. I don't care if it's even at their stadium. As a Maryland Terps fan, I would love to face Stephen F. Austin. I would love to face Evansville. Michigan State lost to someone as well. I would love to face them as well. It's tough to beat the same team twice in a row. I can see Cincinnati winning the rematch. That is a good point. I do not know who I'm picking for that game. I'm just saying that right now. I do not know. I thought Cincinnati looked a bit flat today at times. Could have been maybe because of the scenario that they could play them next week in Memphis. But overall, I thought Cincinnati looked kind of flat today. If Memphis beats Cincinnati again, then their resume would be a lot better than Boise. How many quality wins did Boise have? That is true. But I think overall as a conference, you look at the Mountain West. I mean, I know some of these teams I'm going to bring up are not good at some of these Mountain West teams beat, but Memphis, their one Power 5 win was against Ole Miss, who went 4-8. Florida State, they're in the bowl game. So Boise State has the better Power 5 win. I also think you have teams like Air Force who beat Colorado. You have Nevada who beat Purdue. San Jose State, they went ahead and beat Arkansas. I know it's Arkansas, but still, that's a Power 5 win. Wyoming beat Missouri. So I think in Hawaii beat Arizona. San Diego State beat UCLA. I know Cincinnati beat UCLA, but that was in their building for Cincinnati. The San Diego State UCLA game was in UCLA, so that's why I think personally, I think Boise State's the best Group of 5 team. I really do. If you watch them play, you can tell they're the best talented team and they're the best coached team. And that's nothing against Memphis or Cincinnati. It's just what I think. Let's see. I felt happy for you fans not at 15 losing. Yeah, I felt happy for them too. And you're a Clemson fan. You guys are going to beat them next week. I do think they could give you a competitive game, though. I do think that they have the defense. Bryce Perkins, he's a dual threat quarterback. I do think he could give you the. I do think Virginia could give you a bit of a game right there. But you guys should still win by 2 to 3 touchdowns. Hey, can we have TCU and blowing no chance to get? I brought that up. That's good if you're West Virginia because it gives you momentum. TCU, that's disappointing if you're TCU. That was a home game against a team you should have beat. I mean, Gary Patterson, listen, he's a hell of a coach and everything. The last few seasons have not been good. I mean, 7-5, okay, but we've seen Gary Patterson teams go 10-2, 11-1. So keep an eye on that situation. Hawaii, yep. Michigan State lost to Virginia Tech. Yep, and Kentucky. Well, the Kentucky game I don't care about, but I would love to face Virginia Tech. I heard they have a new head coach because their coach Farley will be good to move on from Virginia Tech to A&M, which is basically a same basketball school level, basically on the basketball level. I mean, I would love to face Virginia Tech. If we were still in the ACC, we would be facing them. Yeah, that Virginia. Once again, I mean, I'm sure Dayton and the BYU, they really sit there and were excited about that. American might have more ranked teams in the Mountain West, but I think the Mountain West, if you look at those conferences head to head, Mountain West has an argument. App State will not get into a New Year's Six bowl. Now, I think that's crap that they're not getting considered, obviously, but they are good enough to be a New Year's Six bowl. Michigan State, so Michigan should jump to the top 10. Yeah, Michigan has a few ranked wins now. We'll see what happens. Personally, I think Maryland's the best team in the ACC. I think Maryland is the I don't want that update. I don't know why. Well, it's updating quick. Okay, whatever. I'm updating some things on Xbox. So that's why I'm kind of paying attention to that. I think Maryland is the best team in the Big Ten for basketball. I really do. Oops, wrong controller, man. Okay. Yeah, but I think Maryland's the best team in the Big Ten for basketball. I want to talk about some NFL as well. So let's get into that. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Really trying to grow this channel. We have a new Twitter account. Just type in McD4 on Twitter. I'm sure you'll find it. And basically, really trying to grow this channel. So hit that subscribe button. Subscriber goal 250 by the end of the year. Love to hit that. We're at 228 last time I checked. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Greatly appreciate if you do that. Man, I'm struggling against. Well, let's see. Maryland. Well, Maryland has talent. I mean, listen, Maryland could beat Temple if they were blind with that talent. Um, I'm telling you, Maryland is one of the best talented teams in the country. The problem, I have two problems with our team right now. One, we're getting off to slow starts, and two, the reason why we're getting off to slow starts is because our head coach is an idiot, and I've been saying that for years. I have no faith in Mark Trojan. I still don't have faith in him. I know I said last year on this channel when we made it to the round 32, I'll lay off him a little bit. I still don't have faith in him. I think the guy's an idiot. So that's a one Achilles heel. Now, granted, I thought he looked good against Howard in the second half. I mean, not Howard, Harvard in the second half, because that game was kind of sloppy too in the first half. But we're undefeated. We'll see where it goes from here. I think we make the tournament definitely. Hopefully, we can win the whole thing. I would love to win the whole thing and annoy all you all. But let's talk about these NFL games. Let's talk about the Bears-Lions game. Bears won 24-20. Big game by Mitchell Trubisky, 29 for 38, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The Bears, listen, the Lions lost this game because of two reasons: our offensive line and their head coach. There was a big 4th and 2 in this game inside the Bears 10-yard line for the Lions with about 6 minutes, I want to say, left on the clock, somewhere around that, and they elected to kick the field goal to go up 20-17. They should have gone for that. That decision, you look back at that probably cost them. And then on that last drive, on that 4th and 13, I want to say, the quarterback for the Lions, the David Blog, because the Lions are literally starting guys off the street. He had no chance on that throw that he threw for an interception at the end. He had no chance because of his O-line. Bo Skarsberg, he rushed the ball well, 21 carries, 83 yards. But Mitchell Trubisky, give him credit. He made the throws. People were saying he wasn't a starting quarterback. He looked like a starting quarterback this game. He really did. I was very impressed with his performance on Thursday during Thanksgiving. Roquan Smith played lights out defensively as well. Anthony Miller, he was huge for some big catches. 9 receptions for 140 yards. Allen Robinson III also had 86 yards receiving on 8 catches with a touchdown as well. Kenny Galloway, he had a few big catches, 4 catches for 158 yards for the Detroit Lions. But overall, the Bears looked like a better team. They're 6-6. Lions are 3-8-1. And I think we gotta have the conversation about Matt Patricia possibly getting let go by the Lions. That was some of that was on him on the reason why they lost. Only Liberty could play man, which you could coach or around that. The thing is, your coach is probably better than their coach, but the talent from Maryland is absurd compared to Liberty's. Redskins, Panthers. Panthers will win that game by a mile. I believe I said Panthers in a blowout. Yeah, I know Ty Johnson's on the Lions. And what did he do? He had 3 carries for 12 yards. I mean, he's basically the backup running back for them. Do you guys want Mike McCarthy as your head coach? I think Mike McCarthy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I think his offense is kind of out of style. I think he runs like a West Coast offense that's kind of out of style. The West Coast offense is for immobile quarterbacks. I know Dwayne Haskins is not that much of a mobile quarterback, but I mean, I think you gotta get someone that can run the spread. I think the spread is the way to go. Mike McCarthy would be a decent hire, but I don't think he'll get you guys over the hump. I mean, you guys did beat the Lions. I'll give you that, but the Lions are terrible. Trey Johnson needs a haircut. I don't really pay attention. People think I need a haircut. There are a lot of good head coaches. Adam McCarthy has the best resume. Yeah, if you're talking about pure resume, he's the best one out there. I think Dan Quinn, who might get let go. I say he was going to get let go. I'll quiet his talks down to might because I think the team is playing tough for him. I think he has a good resume if he's on the market. I'm trying to think who else. There's rumors that Jason Garrett might go to the Giants because it sounds like the Giants are going to let go of the whole coaching staff on Black Monday. But Jason Garrett maybe, even though I don't think you guys want Jason Garrett. But I'll look at Dan Quinn if he's on the market. There's a few other coaches. I'm sure there's coordinators out there. I'm not a big fan of Bill Callahan. You're not a big fan. I mean, he's okay. I mean, he's someone on the market. I think Greg Roman on the Ravens. I think he's going to get a lot of looks. But here's the thing: Dwayne Haskins won't fit his system, so that sucks if you're a Redskins fan. Like I think, for example, Greg Roman, he might get looks at if I'm trying to think of if maybe the Giants maybe. There's also I forgot the guy's name. I was about to bring up. Crap, I forgot the guy's name. That was the game ready to bring up. Anthony Lynn, if he gets let go, maybe him. I think he's a coach that I think knows what he's doing. But it'll be interesting to see. You gotta go after one of these coordinators, I think. And the other big coordinator I think that could get a look is the guy down in Tampa, Brian Leftwich. And I do want to touch on Jason Garrett. He will be out of a job, in my opinion, at the end of the year. He's a lame duck coach. They just won't retain him. I'm tired of hearing the phrase, they're going to fire Jason Garrett at the end of the year. No, they're just not going to retain his contract. He's a lame duck coach. Jason Garrett, I think, is a perfect offensive coordinator. I think he's a terrible head coach. I mean, he should have been fired years ago. And here's the thing. The Giants want him. There's rumors going around that teams might look at him. I can't believe other teams will want him as a head coach. If I'm Jason Garrett, you want to know what I do? I go to the college level and I go for a group of 5 job. Dak Prescott does not suck. That comment I disagree with. He does not suck. Speaking about the Cowboys, let's talk about their game. Bills beat them 26-15 behind a big performance by Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 19 for 24, 231 and a touchdown. He also ran for 43 yards as well. The Bills are good. You gotta take the Bills seriously. I think at this point, they are legit. The Buffalo Bills. Now, granted, they have New England in their way. I don't think they could beat them. They'll have a shot against them in 2 weeks. They have a big game against the Ravens next week. We'll see what they do against them. But the Bills could easily make an AFC championship game. I was throwing Josh Allen over Matt Ryan in fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy person. I don't really play it, but Josh Allen is better than Matt Ryan. Matty Ice Cold is overrated. I don't understand the fantasy about him. I don't understand why people say such good things about him. Matt Ryan is probably one of the most overrated quarterbacks in a very long time. I mean, you want to know what Matt Ryan is for? He's known for blowing a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. And outside of that, he's only really had 2 good ones with the Falcons. Josh Allen, yes, he's in his second year, but he's gonna have a good run, several good ones. Sean McDermott is an excellent head coach. That hire was an excellent hire by the Buffalo Bills. And basically, yeah, Matt Ryan, immobile quarterback, it's not going to be good. And I do not want ads playing. Yeah, but I don't think Dak Prescott played bad. I mean, he played a good defense in the Bills. And then the final game, Saints-Falcons, once again, Matt Ryan, not that good. I mean, basically playing down. He did rush the ball for 21 yards. I'll give him credit on that. 3 carries for 21 yards. But overall, it's just not. I mean, he's not that mobile of a quarterback. Interesting thing there that happened at the end. I think we're going to see the end of onside kicks, basically, and I do think that it's going to be that 4th and 15 I saw in Arena Football, like 4th and 15 Hail Mary, or like maybe even like a 4th and 20. So you should make a bigger NFL coaches that need to be fired. Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of coaches should be fired. I think Ron Rivera needs to go. I think Dan Quinn needs to go. Pat Shermer and company, they're going to go. Adam Gase is going to keep his job, even though he really shouldn't. I think the guy in Cincinnati needs to go because that is absolutely embarrassing what's going on in Cincinnati right now. I think Doug Monroe's going to be out of a job in Jacksonville. So that's 5 that I think that needs to go. I'm going across the coast basically. I think Matt Patricia needs to go. That's 6. I'm going to lay off of Matt Nagy because I think part of the problem is not very his fault. Just that I think Mitchell Trubisky is really not that good of a quarterback. He had a good game, give him credit, but I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. So that's 6. Let's see. And that is it. So I think there's 6 head coaches that need to go. Maybe I'll cut a video for it. We'll see. If I do, it will be this upcoming week, if not the following week. Because this upcoming week, a lot of previews. Here, I'm laying off the firing Mike Vrabel because they're winning. But if they turn around and start losing in the month of December, you'll start hearing me saying fire him. I don't think it's nothing as Mike Vrabel why I want him gone. You need an offensive-minded head coach in today's NFL, and he's a defensive-minded coach. And he's basically hiring a yes man, basically, for offensive coordinator. And I think what we're going to do is just re-sign Ryan Tannehill and go from there. Marcus Mariota. Listen, if things go bad, I would like to see Mariota back in there. And here's the thing. Mariota will go to one of these teams and watch him play good. And I know Mariota is good. I've seen him put the team on his back several times. So we'll see what happens. Ryan Tannehill looks good in this offense. If they continue winning, I'm not going to say anything about Mike Vrabel, but I mean, they're 6-5. We have a big game against the Colts that, unfortunately, I think we're going to lose. But if we win that game, you won't hear anything from me saying about Mike Vrabel for the rest of the season because he did beat the Colts, and that's always huge when you beat the Colts in Tennessee because we never beat them. If he could beat the Colts like once a year out of the 2 games and get us in the playoffs half the time, I won't say anything because as long as you're in the playoffs, you're seeing before the Giants twice. I'm trying to think of other wild card teams that backed their way into the playoffs. Corey Davis isn't a buzz. He just hasn't really been used correctly. A.J. Brown, very good. But Corey Davis, he just hasn't really been used correctly. I wouldn't call him a bust just yet. I think that has more to do with how the coaches use him. I wish that Ravens 49ers game was a 4:15 game, not a 1 o'clock game. but I can't wait for it either. I'm watching it. I have the Ravens winning 30-26. But basically, it should be a very exciting game. I also want to get into the NBA as well. I want to talk some NBA. Um, especially basically with the standings. Basically, since this is what actually the live streams are centered around, because I have a chance to talk about NBA. Um, to start the Eastern Conference, every team in the Eastern Conference, um, is within 11 games of the number one seed, which is the Milwaukee Bucks at this time, and that eighth seed is going to be a battle for the ages. For that eighth seed, right now it's the Hornets at 8-12. The Magic and Wizards are tied at 8 games back. Wizards are probably going to lose tonight to the LA Lakers. Lakers might be the best team in the NBA, even though I'll beg to differ. When it comes to the playoffs, I think that the Clippers are just a tick better than them when it comes to the playoffs. The Magic are also 7-11, at 8 games back, and then you have the Bulls and Pistons both at 6-13. You have the Cavs at 5-13, and then you have the Hawks and Knicks at 4-14. Very disappointing in the Hawks. I thought they would be a bit better, but they're only 3 games back from that eighth seed. But the Eastern Conference, as Eli saying, that AFC is going to be a garbage can team that's going to get swept by Milwaukee. Thoughts on the Tennessee Titans defense? Their defense has been absolute proof for the past few weeks. Last week against Jacksonville, I thought it was okay, but I thought that had more to do with bad Jacksonville. We'll see what it is this week against Jacoby Brissett and the Indianapolis Colts. But the defense has been complete poop for the past few weeks, especially against the Panthers. I'm going to let it slide against the Chiefs because it was Patrick Mahomes. But I'm been kind of disappointed in this defense this year. Um, oh yeah. Um, that AFC for the East, though, is going to be a crapshoot. And it's going to be a team that's only going to win probably 35 to 38 games. And they're going to get swept by either the Bucks, Raptors, or Celtics. I don't think the Heat are getting the 1 seed. And I don't think the Sixers will get the 1 seed. I don't think the Sixers are really going to go far into the playoffs, honestly. And by the way, speaking about the Sixers, Joel Embiid, 0 points. Are you kidding me? I would just advise you to go ahead and watch the Stephen A. Smith show. But not the Stephen A. Smith show, but First Take and Stephen A. Smith's rant on Joel Embiid's 0 points to see how I feel about that. Because I basically agree with everything he said. Is the Wizards awful? D. Scott Brooks fought with construction of the roster. A bit of both. The roster is kind of poor, especially like the back end of the roster. Um, Scott Brooks, though, as I said once we hired him, I hope Scott Brooks did. When we hired Scott Brooks, I was on YouTube at the time, but I was on my reaction to that was, I hope he just didn't live off the success off of KD and Russell Westbrook, and got lucky there. And it looks like he did. Now, granted, he did have that one 2-year run with John Wall and Bradley Beal when we took the Celtics to 7 in the second round, before losing to him in a close game, which kind of sucked because that team basically hit their peak at that point, as you could probably see. And I on that Hardware Aminu app, you should go get the app. I'm not really on it, but back then I was. I asked, did the Wizards just hit their ceiling? And about 60% of the people said yes out of 200 people that voted. But Scott Brooks, I called for his job last year. They didn't fire him, but they fired the GM, Ernie Grunfeld, which, by the way, give Ernie Grunfeld credit. He's been with the organization for a while. I thought he was actually decent at drafting. It was just when it came to free agency, he was a pretty knucklehead. I called for his job too, and that happened. But we didn't fire the head coach. I think if we miss the playoffs this year, or by the way, even if I think we make the playoffs, I just think we should just make the change, get some new blood. Um, but overall, I just think that I mean, I just really think we should just get rid of him. Um, and basically see what happens. False on Tommy Shepard. We'll see what he does. I mean, it's his first season at the helm. Um, I mean, we'll see what he does, but I mean, he drafted, I think, a player, and I can't pronounce the guy's last name. I have to look it up, but it's the guy from France that has shown some potential. So we'll see where that goes. He has that bad John Wall contract. He has Barry Beal working for him. Isaac Bonga has been okay. I mean, David Berchans has been okay. Um, Raul Hachimura. He's looked like he's been showing some potential. Isaiah Thomas is on the team filling in for John Wall, him and Ash Smith, the tuning. So, I mean, he constructed a team to compete this season, but that's just about it. The Wizards are in the area right now that they should rebuild right away. How far you think Michigan goes? And we're at the 2-point. How you doing? West Virginia. You picked West Virginia in the upset. I didn't pick that game, but that does not surprise me that West Virginia won. I touched on that a bit earlier in the stream. How do you think Michigan goes up in the polls? That's upsetting. I don't care about college basketball polls. They're meaningless to me, honestly. I mean, I don't even know what the hell they are in the polls, honestly. I know Maryland's 5. I know Gonzaga was top 10. And see what happened. I'll look at the polls and I'll tell you, because I don't even know what they are in the polls. Michigan. Okay, Gonzaga is a Michigan isn't. Is Michigan not even in the poll? Michigan's not even in the poll. They'll be in the poll for sure. I don't know how high they'll be, but they'll be in the poll for sure. You can guarantee that. But I'll probably say somewhere between 18 and 25. I don't care about college basketball polls. I care about the tournament. Maryland, we're 5-0. The teams ahead of us are, I don't know why this is updating, but Duke, Louisville, Michigan State, and Kansas. But we'll see what happens. Tony Brown is like a bust one for a big horn. Yeah, Troy Brown's a bust. He is. I called it a bad pick at the time by Glenfield, and it looks like that's where it's going to be. They beat Gonzaga in North Carolina. You are correct. They'll be in the poll for sure. For sure. How am I miss out on the year? 6 boys. Armor. They'll have 2 losses. Maybe. Florida will be in the same boat as them at 10-2. And Florida lost to LSU and Georgia. And Bama lost to Auburn and LSU, but Florida beat Auburn. So yeah, Florida had the head-to-head on that. I mean, Florida should have the upper hand on that. If Alabama loses, I don't think they're a top 10. I might consider them kicking them out of my top 10. They're up to 5 right now, but I might consider kicking them out of the top 10. Bucks beat the Cavs 110. Bucks beat the Cavs 119-110. Giannis 33 points, 12 boards, and 2 assists. Darius Garland for the Cavs 21.6 assists. Hornets beat the Pistons 110-107. This Hornets team's been a lot better than what I thought they were going to be. So give them credit. This PJ Washington might be the rookie of the year. 26 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. Derrick Rose had 23 points and 4 assists. I didn't know Mackenzie Milton's knee required amputation. I did not know that. Yeah, he won't be seeing a football field again. That sucks for him, though. Speaking about Central Florida, what's the score of that game? And I haven't even talked about the Western Conference. I need to get into the Western Conference. The score of that game. 24-0 Central Florida at halftime over South Florida. That pick looks like it's gonna be good for me. So yeah. After today, I think Memphis Grizzlies is more at the Boys. Possibly, it depends what happens in the championship week. So Boise State's facing Hawaii. They'll beat Hawaii without problem. It's just that I didn't know who they face. But I think if Appalachian State, if they're saying they have one loss and Boise State has two losses and Cincinnati and Memphis all have two losses, I think Appalachian State should get in the New Year's Six Bowl. I really do. And I think that's horseshit if they if that does not happen. I want to go over the Western Conference as well for the NBA as well. So right now, Lakers 16-2. They're about to take on the Wizards. Hopefully, the Wizards can upset them, but highly doubt it. Nuggets are 13-3 at 2. Clippers are 14-5 at 3. Rockets are 12-6 at 4. Mavericks have been a pleasant surprise. They're 11-6 at 5. Jazz are 11-7 at 6. Timberwolves have been a pleasant surprise as well. I've said on this channel, I said I call Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, and company. He needs to have a big year this year. They need to step it up, and it looks like that's happening. They're 10-6 at the 7th seed, and the Suns 8-9 at 8. That has a lot to do with their head coach, Monty Williams, who knows what he's doing. They have a plus 2.3 point differential as well, which is quite impressive. But they behind them, one game out the Kings, 2 games out the Blazers, also 2 games out the Thunder. I think the Blazers are going to get back in as a 7th or 8th seed, and we'll see what the Kings do. They're kind of a young team. Pelicans, they are 2.5 games out. We'll see what they would do. Let's see, Spurs, they're 6-13. I don't think the Spurs are making the playoffs. Grizzlies, they're a fun team to watch. I watched them twice this year, but they're not going to be going anywhere. And the worst team talent-wise is the Warriors. It's the Warriors and Knicks who are the worst 2 teams this year. What's happening with the Spurs? They just don't have the talent. They just don't. I mean, your best player cannot be LaMarcus Aldridge or DeMar DeRozan, whichever one you want to take as your pick. Let's see. Just imagine if staying the combo overs and then win. Combo be nice. At least not bad teams in the bowl game. That is true. They lost to Boise State, and I think Oklahoma, or I actually think Baylor's going to get into is going to win that game for the Big 12 championship. I think Oklahoma's going to get into the Sugar Bowl. The Knicks are worse one. And that is true. The Knicks are terrible. We won. I mean, I don't know why you would be a Knicks fan, honestly. I also want to talk baseball about a few of these free agents basically coming up here. Just a few big ones. I just want to give my prediction for maybe 5 or the 6 biggest ones. Basically, here's the top 50. I'll just say my predictions for like the biggest, like top whatever. Garrett Cole. He's the biggest free agent on the market. He will leave Houston, but I think he's gonna go to San Diego. I'm not gonna give contract specifics. I think this site has him for the Angels, 8 years, 256. I don't know the contract specifics. I know the Padres have Manny Machado on a $300 million contract. Do you want to go? I mean, maybe they go for him. I think that it's more likely to go after Steven Strasburg, which will probably get him. But I think they'll go after Garrett Cole, and I think Steven Strasburg will go to the Angels. A few other big ones, Anthony Rendon, with the Nats. He'll resign there, in my opinion. I don't see him leaving. Strasburg, as I said, I think he's going to go to the Angels out west. Zach Wheeler for the Mets. I think he's leaving the Mets. I do not know where he will go. If you want me to take a pick, man, I think he'll go to an AL club, and I see him going maybe somewhere like unexpected, maybe like the Twins or something. But I think that's too high for the Twins. I don't know. Maybe the Brewers. I think the Milwaukee Brewers are going to go out and spend some money. Maybe them. Josh Donaldson. Um, Man, they're saying the Rangers on here. I can see him going there replacing Adrian Beltre. Mass Bumgarner. I think he stays with the Giants. Mass Bumgarner. Grandal. He signed with the White Sox. The White Sox are looking to spend money as well. Let's see. Catalanas, Nicholas Catalanas. They said White Sox here. I can see him going to the White Sox. Han Jong Woo, he'd go anywhere. I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to see him in the AL though. Man, I I think he goes to NL team. I say he goes maybe to the Phillies. I think Jacob DeRinzi re-signs with the Twins. Marcel, actually, he accepted the qualifying offer. Jacob DeRinzi. Marcel Ozuna, they have him going to the Giants. He can go anywhere. DJ Gornes. Seems to have any guys on the site. Dallas Keuchel. I wouldn't. Will Smith, by the way, he signed 3 years, $40 million with the Braves. Darius Keuchel, I think he could go. Man, he'd go anywhere. I could see Darius Keuchel maybe not going to that good of a baseball team. I could see him going to maybe, I don't know, the Marlins maybe. Maybe a long 1 year deal. Cole Hamels, I think he's going back to the Phillies. Jose Abreu, he accepted the 1 year qualifying offer. See anybody else that's worth mentioning. Ray Miley, he used to be a former Royal. He could go anywhere. That maybe like a middle of the road club like the Athletics or something. Anybody else that's worth mentioning. Harry Kendrick, I think he stays in LA with the Angels or with the Dodgers, excuse me. Rick Porcello, he was a Cy Young winner a few years ago. I can see him going somewhere, maybe like Houston or something. Brett Garner, he's staying with the Yankees. Anybody else that's worth mentioning? Yasiel Puig, I can see him going to the White Sox. Adrian Castellon, yeah, I like that. I like him going to the Rays. I think he could stay in Cleveland, maybe. See what happens there. Oops. Anybody else? Alex Wood, Adam Rainway. Adam Rainway was signed with the Cardinals. Yeah, he stayed 1 year, $5 million. Alex Wood, I can see him maybe going to I don't know. He was with the Reds last year. I can see him going to the title contender. Alex Wood is someone that could spot that could spot start. Rock Cole, I think he stays with the Red Sox. Dylan Betances, I'm interested to see where this guy goes. I can see him going to maybe a kind of underrated club, like maybe Milwaukee or something. Let's see anybody else that's worth mentioning. Michael Wacha, he'll stay with the Cardinals. Ivan Nova, I can see him going. I can see Ivan Nova going to us actually. Pedro Strop, I think he stays with Chicago. Anybody else? Todd Frazier. I can see us going. I can see him going to us. We cut Jonathan Villar. We're trying to trade Bundy. And by the way, I know there's a few Orioles fans in this chat. What was the hype about Dylan Bundy? If you like, you heard in 2012, oh, Dylan Bundy is going to be the next big thing. 2016, Dylan Bundy is going to be the next big thing. You even heard through 2017, Dylan Bundy is going to be the next big thing. What was the hype on that? Someone can Orioles fans explain to me on that? I mean, really, no more. Yeah, I would have not done that if I was the Warriors. I think listen, at least show like you're going to be competing. I know we're trying to tank, and basically, we got out tanked by someone last year, the Detroit Tigers. We got out tanked by them. But overall, we're gonna be tanking for at least another season, I think. Oh, Minnesota Beast, Wisconsin, Ohio State. Might go down with surprise teams. I did not see Minnesota coming like this. I know their fans were saying, were talking like this. I didn't even have Minnesota in a bowl game because I did not see this coming. But yeah, probably one of your most surprising teams of the decade. Go to the Yankees. I don't think he's going to the Yankees. I think he's going west. Garrett Cole. Trey Villar for Zach Wheeler still won the league, but the guys who got better. He's still in the league. Yeah, I don't know. He's someone that you could keep through the losing years. Sorry about that. Also going to the organization. Yeah, I may go to the Rose Bowl. I think Oregon, if whoever wins the Pac-12 is going to go to that Rose Bowl. I don't think Utah's going to get into the playoffs from these injuries in the minor leagues. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Oh, he's 398. He's 398. Now we're trying to trade him probably for some middle of the road minor leaguer. So it's unfortunate. We're going to see how Hunter Harvey is. Maybe we'll hear the same hype for 5 years on that. But I like the direction we're heading. Obviously, I know what we're trying to do. It's going to be a long rebuild. And all I'm going to say is that they better get it right because it's getting to the point now in Baltimore. They're thinking about moving the team possibly at times. And if it continues as bad rebuilds, they'll be out of Baltimore for 20 years. Harvey could be a potential closer. I want him to be a starter. I like this Means kid. I like Harvey Means. That's what I want. I mean, right now we have two cornerstones that are in the majors right now. Okay, see you, Raptor 2.0. Thanks for joining. I'm about to wrap this up anyways, but Harvey Means. Develop other pitchers. Develop more hitters. I think 2022 is the year that I think we could start seeing this team rise. If the Ravens win the Super Bowl, I feel cursed and picking the ball more. Now I feel cursed. Why would you feel cursed? Because you didn't pick them this year? I don't know. But I'm about to wrap this up. Basically hit all the notes I want to talk about. It's about 10 o'clock right now. I know I said 11 o'clock I'm going to do this. Actually, the Orioles suck. National Ravens being champions. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Well, the Redskins, Dan Snyder's an idiot. Orioles, do I like the Andrews family and how they run the team? No, but they're not afraid to spend money. I know they're not because they gave Chris Davis a terrible contract. And we saw winning baseball this decade in Baltimore. 2014, 2012. Made the wild card in 2016, even though that year I wasn't really that high on that team, even if we did beat the Blue Jays. But 2012, 2014, you saw 2 years of teams that I was very high on, especially the 2014 team. So we'll see what happens. I think 2022 is going to be the first year that we're going to see this team be competitive. I hope we keep Brandon High and Mike Ellis. That's basically the structure. I hope we keep it. Believe in the same guys. But if we don't see results by 2024 from this Orioles team, I'll be all in favor of letting them go. But I have no expectations for the Orioles in 2020. Minor expectations in 2021. That's only let's get above 70 wins. Let's start showing hey, we're building something. In 2022, I want to start competing for the playoffs. But as I said, I have no expectations for 2019 and 2020 for the Baltimore Orioles. Absolutely none. So hopefully it works out. Mike Elway's a game from the Houston Astros. He was there for their long rebuild when they um, basically did their long rebuild for like 3, 4 years, 5 years. So hopefully it works out, but we'll see what happens. When does Adley Rushman, when does he get called up? They should call him up immediately, in my opinion. I think they should just get these young talent in the majors, give them their starts, give them their bats in the majors, because there's a saying like 100 bats, 60 starts in the majors. I would like to see like all the young guys out or cornerstones get that now while the team's losing. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna end the stream. I said it was only gonna be an hour, and we're at an hour 1 minute. So I'll be back tomorrow throughout the day doing recaps of all these big games. Follow the new Twitter account. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to grow this channel. Thanks for watching. McD the Beast here, signing off.